love it.
Oh,
What is he Buckingham? Sounds like you playing guitar.
I could do it. 3 chords. I got that. He can play guitar, though.
Yes, he can. He's one of my
he
heroes.
He gets a
man.
lot more. He doesn't get enough credit for
He
his talent.
is one of my guitar heroes. He's
He
amazing.
can flat out.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing.
No question.
Love his style. Love it.
He's a terrific arranger of music.
Yeah,
too.
he is.
He
Yeah, he
really
is.
is.
Like Billy. Billy's the same way.
Yeah, I'm an
You
arranger.
go over to his house, dude. He's got the keyboard out, and he's
It's all
just like, Mike,
arranged.
check this out, man.
And then my wife arranges everything. Yeah, I wailed that last time you came over. I was in a zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost that. The track didn't take. And it's gone.
I think one of the best moments that I'll always remember when we were living next to each other in Santa Maria was when I would come over and you would have the Zamfir flute when I would walk into the hallway and I could hear
He signed that
I could
flute.
hear
It's
you-
autographed.
by your breakfast nook, you'd be having your
I would-
oatmeal in the morning.
I'd be wearing
and,
the robe I got
and
from
I was like,
Bellagio.
Billy, are you here? And it'd be, I'm over here, Mike.
Yeah. I lost those sandals, but I still have the robe I used to
Yeah.
wear when I did that
Yeah.
out in the yard by the hot tub.
I always got a little nervous because when you wear the robe, I wasn't sure if there was.
Oh, it's usually nothing, but you have
Yeah.
to be.
Did you always have your samurai sword strapped onto your side when you had the robe on?
You know, I'm not a violent man, so I had a
No, of course not. It's for
big.
show.
I had this big feather, a big one of the largest birds
A
in the
boa
world, an
feather.
umumumu bird from Africa, a munu bird, very rare. It's like a 6-foot feather, man. I'm telling you. So it looks kind of like a sword, shaped like a sword,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hurt at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I could whack you with it. You'd kind of.
Good morning, Billy. Hi.
Yeah, I used to do that. Mike would come by, and I knew he's coming from 3 blocks away because I'm zoned in like that. And well, come in, Mike. Welcome. But I had that flute signed. Zanfir.
Talking
pan-
like,
there's the
talking
pan
like
flute.
Mr.
The
Miyagi.
Zanfir.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was the pan flute.
Always Rookie and I.
And his greatest hits is still one of my favorite. Too bad I lost my CD player.
I know. What do you do with them? I'm the same way. I have all these CDs. What do I do? I don't even. My laptop doesn't even
I
have a
know.
CD player anymore.
Mine laughed when I put Zanfir in it. He's like, well, are you kidding? No way.
All right,
I
are we ready?
imagine you very much like Mr. Miyagi when you train your first T students. Like
Yeah.
Mr. Miyagi, like, you know.
They clean my golf
Stand
cart.
son. No, show.
They
Show
clean.
swing.
Yeah, it's all about empowering them. I sit back in my little chair, all right? So washing the tires of my cart does wonders for the pitching game. It strengthens, it really does. So
All right, are we
I got
ready?
some clean tires too.
You do. Your cart's always clean, dude. Always clean.
Yeah, it's because it never gets used. All right, let's go. So as per request from our wonderful listeners, all 4 of you, we want to thank you for asking for more history. We've done everything we can think of, except for the one. Did you see the guy that said he wants to do the history of the show someday?
Yes.
I'm not sure I remember that far back, but
Wow, that would take a long time.
it would. But anyways, popular demand. Michael B. is coming at you with the history of the golf club manufacturing.
Hi, Billy.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
So good.
Good. Glad to be back. We're going to talk about the manufacturing process.
Is that building clubs, Mike?
Golf clubs, yes.
Okay.
Every club maker uses a slightly different manufacturing process. The largest companies use highly automated machinery, while the smallest companies use hand tools.
I like hand tools, Mike.
Nail clippers, tweezers,
Files. Loofah.
Q-tips. Some parts of the manufacturing process may be unique to one company and regarded as trade secrets.
Shh, don't tell.
Here's the typical sequence of operations on how to produce a golf iron.
Iron?
Forming the head. The head is formed by a process called investment casting.
I have invested in that.
A master die of the club. The head is made from metal. The die consists of 2 halves with a hollow cavity that is the exact shape and size of the desired club head. Molten wax is then poured into the die cavity and allowed to harden.
Hot wax.
I did that with my arm hair once. It hurt.
Only once.
That was the only time. When the wax is hard, the die is opened and the wax pattern is removed. That's when I removed the hair off my arm that hurt so bad.
Rip?
Left it red, pustules.
Is that cancer?
I hope not. This process is repeated several times. Several wax patterns are attached to a central wax column called a sprue to form a tree.
A sprue?
Sprue.
Can't hit a ball with a sprue.
Sprue you.
I'm scared.
The tree is then dipped into a liquid mixture of powdered ceramic materials, various chemicals,
How do you make powdered liquid?
and a gelling agent. I don't know. I'll see if it says it as I read more.
I thought powder was powder and liquid was liquid, Mike.
I'm so confused. It is set aside until the coating dries. The tree is then placed into a container, and the container is filled with a liquid molding slurry, which is allowed to harden.
A slurry?
Slurry?
Of spew?
Slurry. Slurry me, slurry you.
Wow. It's a lot.
The hardened mold is heated to about 1,000 to 2,000 Fahrenheit
That's hot.
in degrees
Hey.
and put in an oven, and it melts the wax patterns. The melted wax runs out the bottom, and any wax residue is vaporized, and the mold is then inverted. I'm not understanding.
Yeah, it gets so hot it melts the wax. Wax is gone
It's
and
really
metal's
weird.
left.
Really weird. Metal for the club head is poured into the hot mold and allowed to harden. When the metal has cooled, the mold material is broken away from the tree, and the individual cast heads are cut off the sprue.
I cut initials in a tree.
Sprue me, sprue you.
Stop spruing.
Stop the sprueing stuff. The investment casting process produces pots.
Pots?
Pots.
Like
P-
multiple pots?
Like PARTS.
Oh,
like
pots.
pots.
Thank you.
With an excellent surface finish and no flash or potting lines to remove. The pots can be made in a wide range of metals to form their weight, and the uniform is one pot to another.
There's a lot to this.
There
process.
is. It's a mouthful.
What happened to the spew?
I don't know. Most iron heads are heated, treated, and hardened to the outer surface. The head is then heated either with a flame or induction coil.
Wow.
And then quickly cooled. This causes the steel near the surface to form a different grain structure that is much harder than the rest of the head.
I just wanted to play.
You want to know how to form the shaft?
Yes. Tell me.
If the shaft is made of steel, stainless steel, it's formed by a process called tube drawing. Tube drawing.
I used to draw a bunch of things.
Like what?
I drew tubes
Tubes?
and spew.
Nice. Sprue.
So spew.
Not spew.
Oh.
That's the wax that
Sorry.
spews.
So the sprue spews.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
That's correct.
Got it.
A tube of a desired length is pulled partway through an opening in a die slightly smaller than the tube diameter,
Wow.
which causes the draw portion of the tube to neck down in diameter. This process is repeated several times. Each time the diameter is made slightly smaller and the length of the tube pulled through the die is several inches less. The result is a tube that decreases in diameter, creating a shaft.
That's amazing. I just wanted a 7-eye.
I'm turned on.
There's a lot to a club.
Now, for graphite shafts, the graphite fiber is reinforced composite material. It is formed in a process called pultrusion.
Pultrusion. Say it again.
Pultrusion.
Nice.
A bundle of graphite fibers is pulled through a circular opening in one or more heated dies while epoxy resin is forced through the opening at the same time.
A lot of heat in golf.
There is. The graphite fibers become embedded in the epoxy, and the heat makes the epoxy harden to form the shaft. I was always wondering how they did that.
Fascinating, Mike.
Sometimes it looks like a waffle.
I just thought there was just kind of laid there and rubbed.
The shaft is then cooled by air or water and cut to length, and graphite reinforced shafts are the same diameter along the entire length of the shaft.
Did not know that.
And that means they don't taper.
My graphite shaft tapers. I'm sure of it.
So,
Parallel tips.
That's
This is awesome, man. No idea there's so much involved. One of the clubs that cost $3,000 a set.
I got more, but my mouth can't do it
you
no
can
more.
do it.
There are several ways to fasten the head to the shaft. With some metal shafts, the shaft is inserted to a socket on the head, and a small hole is
Is that a hosel?
drilled crossways through both the socket and the shaft. A small metal pin is
Pin.
then pressed into the hole and held in place with epoxy adhesive. With graphite shafts, the head is bonded to the shaft with an adhesive. The second process becomes a more common for all shaft materials, including metal shafts.
You're coming back.
Ooh. The other end of the shaft is placed in a hollow die with a rubber grip.
Wow.
Turning the what's his name?
Yeah, you're
again?
getting Clinton coming back. I haven't heard Clinton yet.
I can't do it. I'm out.
There's a lot going on in a golf club. Did you know?
I had no idea.
Wow.
I had no sexual relations with that woman.
That's good, buddy. Wow.
I do not recall.
At least they had witnesses. The history of the golf club manufacturing, or just the details of manufacturing, tons of heat,
yes.
spewing sprue.
Sprues.
So well, it's just quite a detailed process. Nowadays, they just attach them with a wrench and a locking system, right?
And I posted on our Facebook pages the actual like design of the cast mold. It's very fascinating.
Very cool. So
It looks like a
starts
suit-
with wax. So first they do is they have to hand make it, then wax, and then the wax melts away and it leaves the opening for the pot metal.
Yes.
That's pretty fast. It's cool.
It actually is very cool. It is
It's called investment casting.
I should have invested,
You did invest in the beginning of the segment. You said you invested.
but not in casting.
Oh, I did.
So
I'd be around for
we
a
only got a
long
minute or
time.
two. That was cool, Mike. I didn't read it or look before, but I didn't realize there's a lot involved making a golf club.
Yes, there is.
So and what about the fours irons? Anyways, I have something to ponder here. You're almost done.
yes. Go ahead.
How much time left?
I think we got
You have mere seconds
Okay.
before
Wow.
the music starts.
Efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction.
efforts and courage.
Are not enough without purpose and direction.
Does that mean if I try to jump off a ledge, if there's no purpose to it, is
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's no direction to that. You'd fall down. Right. That would be the direction.
and that's not okay to
It's
do?
not enough. Are you planning on jumping off a cliff?
No.
Keep it on course, my friends. Pop, good to hear your voice, man.
Later, kids.
See ya.
Anybody have any hive medication? My shoulder hurts.
Thank you for listening to Golf Talk Radio with Mike and Billy.